Hey everybody, Kicking It Retro. While everybody else is talking about Beta Black and White 2, let's play some real Black and White 2, overused in a match versus JH13. Before we get started, I want to let you guys know it is his side of the battle, and I also used some cool music from a game that I had a conversation on Discord with a gentleman looking into Melon DS, net play on other games, and this music is for you guys. Let me know if you recognize it. I'll tell you about it later. We don't want to miss too many turns of the battle. Me and my opponent talked about it after the match, and he was scared of Breloom. So I throw a Sword Stance in his face to force out this Gliscor, knowing that I can go for a +2 Facade. Now, I am the Jolly Breloom. I'm not adamant, so that is unfortunate. It won't do as much as I would like. The regular Facade from the Gliscor without a boost does not take out Breloom, so the natural bulk comes in handy there. I do see we do have a situation where there is a 2-hit KO here. However, I don't believe after a Protect that I will have enough HP from the Poison Heal to take the oncoming Facade after the fact, even after that Protect and Poison Heal turn. I don't feel like it's a range that I want to go with as I go out into Ripster for a surprise move. He goes for a Facade here. I would have the Rough Skin, but I messed up. Sorry about that. As I go for Surf. And speaking of Surf, you guys should surf into this totally aquatic and cool second channel retro replays. Guys, a lot of people don't know that I play games other than Monster Collection RPG games. There's a lot of games on the forefront coming out in October, specifically the end of October, like the new Shadow X Generations, for example. Sonic Rumble is just around the corner in the winter for us of the United States, and I gotta get back to the Brave Fencer Musashi playthrough, Multiverses, and Among Us, and other things to be joining this channel at a later date, and my two favorite series of all time. But we'll get into that a little bit later. If you're not subbed, check out the channel in the link down below, and let's get back into the action. Let's talk about Chain Chomp. So Chain Chomp premiered back as early as Generation 4, and it was a specific Garchomp set that utilized Sword Stance, Draco Meteor, Earthquake, special move. Most of the time, that other move is Fire Blast, but you could also slot Stealth Rock and things like that. Just having the ability to hit on both sides of the offensive spectrum makes Garchomp a lot scarier. Anyways, I know he's not going to want to sacrifice to a Surf as he brings out his Ferrothorn and just throws it in my face, just begging me to barbecue this thing. However, I do not have Fire Blast on this moveset. I do have Stealth Rock, which I go for on his switch into Tyranitar, knowing that I'd like to get my entry hazards up even late game. Garchomp is definitely faster as long as it's not Choice Scarf Tyranitar, and Earthquake brings it to the brink of death. 37 HP, and here's something really funny that happens. He is hot on the pursuit and misses. This turn doesn't even matter at all, because the Life Orb is going to take down my Garchomp, even though Sandvale is banned in Black and White Overused. I guess what happened, I don't know if that got banned in Black-White or Black-White 2, but my other opponent that I'm trying to have a game with, he does not have regular Black 2. I'm actually using a Black 2 right now, but he doesn't have like the other forms and stuff, so that's why this team is built the way that it is. Anyways, I bring out Jellicent here, and knowing these things like to go for Toxic, I'm hoping he'll just go for the Roost and not Toxic my Kingslime, maybe fearing like the Water Spout or something like that, or possibly the Scald. More so for damage. I know he's already got a Status Affliction, so he's not worried about the burn. So I decided to go out to Air Razor, and I'm kicking myself so much. We'll get into that in just a minute. You guys will kick me too. All the way to the moon and back, you know. Retro Knight, well, you guys wouldn't know that. In the Discord, it's like space and retro pixel themed, so that's kind of where I got the kick to the moon thing. Plus, when I think of the moon, I think of DuckTales, the moon theme. Anyway, so I am now going to set up a layer of spikes as this Excadrill comes into rapid spin, blowing away my spikes and my Stealth Rocks, which is so unfortunate knowing that this thing possibly has Sword Stance to set up alongside Rock Slides. I whirlwind this thing out into oblivion. And in comes this thing. And I thought Getsus had a strong Cofagrigus with Toxic and Protect. Cofagrigus does have really nice defensive stats. However, back in Black and White and Black and White 2, it opted a bit differently the way that this worked. And I was applauding my opponent for this play on the Switch, thinking this is Hidden Power Ground, and I'm like, okay, I don't have Shuckaberry, so this tells him I'm not Shuckaberry. However, Hidden Power Ground would actually do more damage. Now, guys, at this particular point in the battle, it did not dawn on me what Hidden Power this was. We'll come back to this moment in time in just a few minutes. He sets up a Trick Room here. and I'm just not sure what he wants to do. And I'm thinking Air Razor can stay in here all day. I'm actually specially defensive Skarmory, so I know I can take these Shadow Balls for days. And he even commented after the fact about how, since Steel does still have that Ghost resistance in Generation 5, I could stall this Cofagrigus to oblivion, plus set up hazards. Yeah, I'd have to do it with Excadrill later, but I've got Jellicent in the back. This should be able to handle that. I decided to throw out Tyranitar thinking this is Hidden Power Ground as he shows me a nasty plot. Let's keep in mind the Trick Room is still up, so he outspeeds me. I want him to just know Tyranitar is a threat. It's there. Choice Banded, Lumberry, whatever he wants to go for. But I don't think this Cofagrigus is in any type of mood to go for Will-O-Wisp shenanigans. No, this is an offensive Cofagrigus. And I was like, oh my god, Ghost and Fighting coverage. We've got to abort. We got to go to Kingslime here and take this oncoming Hidden Power Fighting. And then I know I'm also going to have to sack Breloom because I've got to go around the Trick Room turn so that I can taunt the Trick Room so that Tyranitar will be able to knock this thing out. Mario, you did great. You did great damage to Gliscor, and you also threatened out Excadrill earlier in the game. You did exactly what I wanted you to do. The Twisted Dimensions return to normal. This is the turn in which I have to go for a taunt. And unfortunately for the team, Jellicent, I love you so much, but you do have to go down here to this Shadow Ball. Crazy Cofagrigus is actually not in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Although, I can kind of understand that because Ghost types got ridiculous in Scarlet and Violet, which they are my favorite types. I'm quite excited about it. Now I bring in Mega Delicious, hoping that a Crunch plus Sandstorm is enough to put this Ghost out of its misery and put the final nail in the coffin. But no, he's going to give me the Mummy the ability, and this Mummy has its giant axe in the form of Hidden Power Fighting. And I was like, oh yes, I've got the Choppleberry. I thought I was fully offensive like Choice Banded Tyranitar or something like that, which...
Tick-tock, tick-tock. Sorry, your time's up. Hickory-dickory-dock. The Ghoul ran up the clock, and now I've come back for you.
That wouldn't make any sense with Thunderwave, but I guess I got clocked out, and I lost my attention, and I go for Pursuit, knowing he's going to swap out. Should have just gone for Crunch, I would have taken this thing down. However, Tyranitar not being here really doesn't change a whole lot. Jellicent is a lot more important, but we have a double down. And on the double down, we are going to go out into Volstrogan, and he has a Seismitoad, who is much faster than me, I'm sure. However, I still have specially defensive Skarmory. And looking at the fact this has this Earth Power, and also the Hydro Pump that you're going to see on this next turn, God, it would have been nice to have Jellicent. I'm very jelly that I don't have Jellicent. I've got Toast and no jelly to spread on it. I am very, very sad. And unfortunately, even after that residual recovery with leftovers, it is not enough to take these boosted Hydro Pumps, boosted back by a Life Orb, and probably what's a modest nature, who a modest Seismitoad outspeeds my modest Heatran, which couldn't have hit it with anything. And that is the final turn of the game. However, I want to take a special mention and time to talk about two things. First of all, make sure you check out that other channel, link down below in the description, and my Black and White 2 playthrough. And thank you JH13 for the battle. You can join the two Discords linked down below to look for a match and get some trades as well. Got a great 6IV Ditto from these guys that was legitimate. And just going over the team, letting you see it for yourself. And also the music was from Bomberman Land 2, or Bomberman Touch for the DS. Shoutouts to you, I don't remember your name, on Discord. I'm going to be making some kind of update to the Melon DS thing, but probably not the way you're wanting me to. But there's a lot of questions, and I'm trying to answer everybody as best I can, but I'm also trying to make content. So until next time, power on, power off.